Our countdown to tip-off continues, and today's stop is Monticello, where we get to visit with Kyle Tolin, who is the head men's basketball coach of the UAM Boll Weevils. Coach, it's good to get to visit with you now, and your team, according to the preseason coaches poll, picked in a tie for third in the Eastern Division. I know that making a roster overhaul is something that you're no stranger to. You've had to do that a time or two during your tenure, and this is one of those seasons as well. What's that look like, though, in 2020 with all of the Zoom meetings and everything else in trying to put together a solid roster for the upcoming season?
Yeah, it's obviously, I mean, everyone's going through it, so it's not just us, but it's been a difficult time trying to, we lost so many good seniors last year that it was going to be a tough year no matter what. And then all of a sudden you throw on the pandemic and literally we're both on the road, Coach Johnson and myself, going to recruit and being called back in and I didn't have a chance to go out and see any of these guys. So fortunate, we think we've got some good guys and got a good crew coming back of guys that we really like. So, but lots of Zoom calls, lots of FaceTimes, lots of walking around campus with your phone and things like that. So I know everyone's done that, but it's obviously been a unique year to say the least.
Well, I know that, again, you've made adjustments before, but let me throw out some of those names really quickly that UAM fans have seen in recent years. And then last year, seniors in Leisure and Gilbert and Slocum, Hardy and McBean. And you do bring back a little bit from last season, but there's a lot of production to graduate all at once. Denzel McDuffie coming back to you as one of the players that saw significant time for you. He'll be back for this season, as well as a number of players who are now sophomores. Talk about your returnees.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the five seniors you mentioned, I mean, they obviously were a special class for us. I could talk about those guys all day long. I mean, it's what they brought to our program and to the university and to the athletic department as a whole. With KJ and Marcus, I don't know if there was a backcourt in our league who had better GPAs than those two. Obviously, we're great stewards of our program. So we're hoping we add some guys like those guys, the caliber of characters as those guys. You mentioned Denzel's coming back. Denzel obviously is a huge talent. Averaged 10 or 11 points and 7 or 8 rebounds last year. I thought he could have been defensive player of the year. He wasn't, but we thought you could kind of put him on whoever the other team's best player was, and he always defended pretty well. So the thing with Denzel we've been working on is consistency with him, just every day in practice, consistency in the classroom, consistency in his attitude on the floor, and things like that. So and I think if he can get to that consistency level every day, he could be one of the top 5 players in the league. So he's gotten better. He's better now than he was a year ago in lots of different standpoints. So that's the thing we've been harping on him. As you look, and he would have 22 and 8 against East Central on Thursday, and then on Saturday he'd have 6 and 4 against Southeastern. Then he had 17 and 17 the next game. So he put up some huge numbers, but we need him to do that consistently every game too. So that's really what we've been harping on with him, is just trying to be consistent. The only way you're consistent is how you go about your business every day on the floor and off the floor and in the classroom and things like that. So he's done a better job this year. Obviously, we're counting on huge things from Denzel this year.
And that's it's one of those things too, when you have that kind of cast like we just mentioned around you, you can afford to do things a little bit more so than this season coming in. I would imagine he'll be looked to as one of the upperclassmen
right.
that is a consistent part of your program. Well, new names coming in. Coach, can you take us through some of these transfers and
yeah, let me start with, we've got 3 other sophomores this year. Keon Craddock was a freshman for us last year. If you look, and anyone who followed us knows that we were 11-2 and he went down with a knee injury. He was about to start in the starting lineup, brought toughness to us and moved the ball. Once we lost him and we lost another one, it really hurt our year, I thought. I mean, not really many people probably knew that we were banged up with injuries and lost 2 of our top 6 there throughout the year, and kind of felt like if we'd had everybody healthy, we could play with anybody in the league. So obviously Keon's huge getting back at the point guard spot. And then Blakely Cobb out of Boonville, Arkansas. Blakely saw sparing minutes last year, but he's one we're counting on this year. 6'6", can really shoot the ball, fits with the way we play, great kid. And then Cole Whitaker as well. So those guys are all back, and guys that we're all counting on to have bigger productions in bigger roles this year than they did last year. So As far as newcomers go, I think you always start with the point guard spot. I think that's part of the reason that we've been able to kind of keep the program going at such a good level over the last however many years is because we've had good point guards. Kobe Goose being Kareem Onyega there 2 years in a row, really good for us. And then obviously KJ Lesure was great over the last 2 years for us as well. So we've added a good point guard, we think. That was one. You're talking about Zoom calls. I don't know how many point guards we Zoom called, a lot. And the first 2 minutes of the conversation, I looked over at Coach Johnson, the assistant, and I said, he's the one. DeJuan's the one. You could tell. He fits in with us as far as his character goes, fits in with where our academics go, fits in with how way we'd like to play, is tough, can make shots, will defend. So, we're really counting on him. I know there's been really, really good point guards in the league. And if you look at the teams that over our league over the last couple of years, Southern Nazarene, Southeastern, those guys have had really good point guards. And I think DeJuan can be as good a point guard as there is in our league. So we're excited about DeJuan coming. He's a Division I transfer from Sam Houston State. On one of the wings, too, last year we had recruited Miles Daniels. Miles coming from Jackson State. We thought he was coming, thought he would fit in well with KJ and Marcus and would have started on the other wing for us last year, and kind of last second decided to go Division I, which we understood, but called us and said, hey, Coach, I think UAM is a better fit. And obviously we took him back with open arms and can make shots and is really athletic and excited about Miles. And then got one of his teammates, a big kid, a 6'9" kid out of Jackson State, was there 3 years. Lemmy Howard. Lemmy just wanted a bigger role within a program. And Lemmy's really, really athletic. I think he can affect the game on both ends of the floor defensively with as long and athletic as he is, blocking shots. And then as far as on the offensive end, well, he does some things. You look out there, and there's not a lot of guys that can do this some days. So, again, kind of with Denzel, just trying to get him being consistent. So, those guys right there, along with Max Warren. Max is kind of a 6'5", Division II special type guy is what I would call him, one that's undersized, but can score the ball. So he does a good job and has continued to get better for our team as well. So we're excited about Max coming in. It's going to be a junior as well. And then two other guards who have been really solid for us is Kendall Frey. Kendall played at Citrus, really good program. The guy who coached there, we've actually competed against him when he was at Concordia in a national championship game. So I knew Brett well enough to know, and hey, here's kind of what we're looking for. And he played for Brett and did a good job. So we're excited about Kendall coming, kind of play on the ball and off the ball, and gives us some versatility, can defend at several different positions. So we're excited about Kendall. And then Alvarez Powell is from Meridian, Mississippi. And Alvarez, his mom's the high school coach. Actually, her team won the state championship in Mississippi last year. So he's a coach's kid that understands what you've got to work and the amount of time that's got to go into it. And really good kid, and has been a great student so far through the first semester. So we're excited about him as well. So we've got several newcomers, but we're kind of counting on some of the older guys as well as we go along here.
I like that term, Division II special. That's pretty cool, Coach. That is neat. Well, I didn't mean to skip through the sophomores quickly. I hope they understand that too. And I would say as well, the folks that you've had in that point guard position in recent years really have made a name for themselves in the GAC and I think beyond. So look forward to getting to see all of your players get to take to the court. Now, I realize GAC protocols, and it's going to be a couple of weeks before fans get to see that. That's unfortunate, I imagine, for you, because you have 3 of your first 4 games there in Steelman Fieldhouse. You get things underway on January 7th with Arkansas Tech coming to town. Yeah,
I mean, obviously you'd like to have fans, especially with our kids. Their families, that's a lot of them decided to come to UAM because it is close enough for families going to be able to see them play. So, that's unfortunate, but we do understand the protocol within the league, and we obviously want what's best and safest for our kids. So we understand that. Obviously, anytime we get to play at Stillman Fieldhouse, I mean, you look over the last 4 or 5 years, we're winning, 75, 80% of our games there. So it's been a huge home court advantage for us. And, anytime you can open up games starting that way, I think whether we got fans or no fans, it'll be a good deal. So, and that's the thing about our schedule is you're having to play everybody, home and road. So I guess it really doesn't matter a whole bunch. You're going to get to play them at their place, and they're going to get to play you at yours. So
It is a unique thing that if fans miss an opportunity to see a team when they play at home, they're actually going to get another opportunity to see a team get to play get to play them with your home court. Coach Kyle Tolin, again, the Weevils picked in a tie for third in the Eastern Division according to the GAC Coaches Poll. Thank you so much for taking time with us today, and success to you this season.
Thanks, and I appreciate everything you do for us and for our league.
Thank you very much.